In a world full of mixers, three-time Grammy-winning mixer Andrew Scheps has worked with artists like Linkin Park, Green Day, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. During Andrew's career, he's relied on certain plugins to help him achieve world-class mixes time and time again. And in this video...
Oh hey, we'll be covering plugins Andrew Scheps can't live without, starting with
EQ.
Andrew is a creature of habit, and his style relies heavily on parallel processing and bus processing to do a vast majority of the weightlifting in a mix, so when it comes to EQs, he likes to keep it pretty simple. With surgical style EQing, Andrew is a big fan of the standard Pro Tools stock EQ plugin and its bandpass isolation feature. For a pop of color, Andrew likes to add some analog EQs in his mixes, and he'll often compare UAD and Waves versions of the same plugins to see which has better character for the track. Andrew especially loves his signature 1073 plugin that he created in collaboration with Waves Audio. It's like a chameleon, taking on tons of multiple Neve 1073 characteristics to create a unique character-filled sound. And we can't forget about two features on this particular 1073 that is a staple of Andrew's mixing style, which is the dual mono option and the mid-side option. When it comes to drums, Andrew reaches for the Neve 1073 for the kick and snare tracks, and for the toms, he likes to slap on the Pultic style EQ, which is like his magical wand, giving the toms just the right amount of punch and sparkle. For bass, Andrew often uses a Helio 69 style EQ. And when it comes to guitars, Andrew gives them a little dose of the 1073 style EQ as well, or the Helio 69 EQ as well. Vocals, synths, keys, and piano all really just get a combination of any of these previous EQs I mentioned when he's mixing.
Dynamics.
Andrew relies heavily on his parallel drum buses, one having an instance of UAD's Fatso, another with the UAD 1176 Anniversary Edition in split mono, and this particular bus sometimes gets swapped out for a multi-mono instance of the UAD or Waves Fairchild, depending on the track he's mixing. There is a mono parallel kick and snare bus with an instance of either UAD or Waves DBX 160 plugin. On direct kick or snare and bass tracks, Andrew will often alternate between the Waves CLA 76 or the CLA 2A plugins, depending on the performance of the player and what's needed within the track. Vocals tend to get some RVox and one of the UAD or Waves 1176 plugins thrown on. And for de-essing, Waves De-esser or Renaissance De-esser make an appearance alongside FabFilter's Pro D2 as Andrew's go-tos for de-essing. And as a safety measure on buses, there will be an instance of Waves L2 set to about 0.2 dB just to make sure the output on the buses aren't too hot before they hit the mix bus.
Saturation and distortion.
Now it's time to talk about the stuff that really spices up Andrew's mixes, good old saturation and distortion plugins. When Andrew needs to add some bite to a track, his go-to favorite is the Pro Tools stock plugin, Avid Lo-Fi. It's like adding a pinch of salt to his tracks. And when Andrew wants to kick up a notch, he pulls out a hidden gem among pro mixers, Cranesong's Phoenix 2. It's like a special sauce that makes the track extra juicy. And sometimes just for fun, he throws in a decapitator just to spice it up. But wait, there's more, because Andrew also is a fan of parallel distortion and has a parallel distortion bus that he uses often. And on this bus, he either uses Trash 2 from Isotope or Double Lock Deluxe. And sometimes you can see Radiator making an appearance as well, either on the tracks or in this bus. This distortion bus is really there to help give that over-the-top fiery explosive distortion that adds some serious weight to his mixes.
Effects.
Alright, now that we've gotten the boring stuff out of the way, it's time to talk about the fun stuff, effects. Delay, reverbs, and anything else nice, like adding sprinkles to your ice cream. And as you've probably figured out now in this clip, Andrew Scheps is pretty straightforward in his approach to mixing, and as he likes to say himself,
and I'm really lazy.
For delay, Andrew likes to switch it up between the Waves H delay and the Avid Pro Tools stock delay. And for guitars, he will pull out the BBD delay, which is like a secret ingredient that adds just the right amount of zing to the guitar tone. When it comes to widening effects, Scheps likes to go a little wild using plugins from Eventide and Soundtoys just to stretch out the track a little bit more to give it another dimension. Andrew isn't typically heavy-handed with reverbs and likes to stick to the classics like Altiverb, UAD's Ocean Way Studios and EMT 140, and his go-to reverb, Revive 2 from Avid, and the Wave Aura Exciter to give the vocals some pizzazz.
Specialty plugins.
Some specialty plugins we have to mention is Waves Omnichannel, which is Andrew's signature channel strip with Waves, that also allows you to add some additional Waves plugins in the chain, and also incorporate Andrew's beloved mid-side and dual mono processing options. And then we have Scheps Particles, Andrew's parallel exciter plugin, but be warned, this plugin is extremely addicting and you'll find yourself wanting to throw it on everything.
Andrew's Mix Bus.
Alright, it's time for the big guns, the mix bus stage. Andrew's got a special recipe for this part of the process that'll make your head spin, but in a good way. First up is UAD's Neve 33609 compressor plugin, which is the closest in-the-box emulation to the sound Andrew is used to getting from his past Neve console quad bus compressor. It's like a big ol' bear hug for your mix, giving it just that warm, cozy feel that you just can't get enough of for your mix. Then, to really make things pop, he throws in an instance of Brainworks' Digital V3 plugin, and this baby does some serious magic in its mid-side processing and stereo widening on the master. It's giving his mixes that Billboard charting pro sound we all want. But Andrew's not done yet. He'll toss in either the UAD or Waves Fairchild, moving the threshold all the way to the left to bypass the compressor and just get the sweet saturation color that oozes character. Finally, to bring it all home, he'll slap on either Sonix's Oxford Limiter or Newfound Audio's Elevate. These plugins are like the cherry on top of a sundae. They'll give you that loud, mastered sound you've been dreaming of. And I'm sure in this video, there have been some plugins you didn't even know existed and will be adding to your own collection ASAP, which is why you'll want to check out this video right here for some more plugins you probably didn't even know existed.